We're excited to share the launch of our book, Risk: A User's Guide. In it, Stan and I argue that the greatest risk to us is us, but that there's something we can do about it. A key chapter in our book is about diversity. Teams are best positioned to react to risk when they honor the diversity of their members, incorporate their thoughts and opinions, and act across a range of perspectives. As we've discussed before, risk is the product of threats and vulnerabilities. So these are the external hazards coming your way, as well as your internal weaknesses to respond to them. The bottom line here is that teams that fail to be diverse are increasingly vulnerable to threats. Just as the human immune system gets stronger as it learns to fight off different kinds of threats, so too can we inoculate our teams against groupthink by prioritizing diversity in our teams. What is groupthink, you may ask? This occurs when teammates are pressured to accept the same consensus and are less likely to share new perspectives or ideas, thereby increasing the risk of blind spots, dropped balls, etc. So with this in mind, our book explores how your team should be thinking about and promoting 3 different types of diversity. First and foremost, there's demographic diversity. This is what you typically think about when you think of diversity. It's diversity of age, of gender, of ethnicity, of race, sexual orientation, etc. Your teams must represent the world around you to survive within it. Demographic diversity is absolutely necessary, but we argue insufficient on its own. The second type of diversity is diversity of thought. This is critical for organizations to be competitive in the face of risk. So different appreciations of the operating environment, different knowledges and experiences, all must be incorporated to ward off groupthink. In our book, we talk about how President Kennedy brought in a diverse group of minds to help him make the Cuban Missile Crisis decision. Third and finally, we have diversity of ability. This is critical for teams to be best equipped to react to the unknown. Our unique skill sets must be leveraged to detect a threat, assess its significance based on our vulnerabilities, respond effectively, and to learn from the process. Stan in our book tells the story of fusion cells to achieve this, how they leveraged abilities from across different military units and agencies to combat Al-Qaeda. So, to conclude, teams that capitalize on diversity of demographic, diversity of thought, and diversity of ability are best positioned to react to risk. Your leaders must be inclusive to weather the unknown. We know that threats will constantly change, but we do have power over our vulnerabilities, and we are less vulnerable when we recruit and work with a diverse team.